Okay. We have to demonstrate the juridical status of TABI, which is the committee within the Council of Engineers Thailand. And the Council of Engineers Thailand is the juristic person under the Thai law. So this is we authorize and we legally can operate in Thailand. And we consider TABI is the only one outcome-based engineering education accreditation body in Thailand, which is to meet requirement of this Chulalongkorn signatory requirement. So TABI have to be uncontested accreditation agency for engineering education in the country. And it is work on voluntary basis. And it has its own rule and procedure announced by TABI rule and procedure, which is announced and updated regularly by the Council of Engineers Thailand. Also, we have granted not to interfere by the Board of Engineering Thailand that they allow us to make independent decision on accreditation while retaining the administration activity under the Council of Engineers umbrella, which is a requirement as well by international standard. This is organization of TABI. We have two commission working under TABI. This is which is the Engineering Program Accreditation Commission, and the second one is Engineering Technology Program Accreditation Commission, ETAC. We also have working groups, several working groups working for TABI to assist the Accreditation Commission to operate smoothly and make decisions on accreditation without interference. Those are which are called readiness working group, and we also have the intervener working group and also PEB training working group, as well as we also have educational program working group as well. So we also have established the Industrial Advisory Board, IAB, as attached to TABI as well. And TABI is work under the Council of Engineers Board for the administrations. This is the criteria that announced by TABI during the 2019 and 2024, which is we have 8 criteria for accreditation and to examine the engineering program. The number one is student itself, which is the outcome, which means the outcome exists on the student. We have to be examined. We also examine engineering educational objective. We also working on, we are announcing program outcome, which is similar and equivalent to, substantial equivalent to what you call graduate attribute. And also we have continuous improvement criteria, which is show the program continuous improvement after evaluation, after accreditation, after having recommendation for improvement. So what did you do regarding the continuous improvement, as well as the curriculum requirement, such as the number of credit required for basic science and mathematics, and the number of credit required for basic engineering and professional engineering subjects, as well as requirement for capstone design courses. Okay. And criteria 6, which is talking about faculty, which is required qualification of faculty involved in teaching and learning of the program. And that we emphasize also not just the academic qualification, but also professional experience is required to teach the student of engineering in order to achieve and to work on the capstone design projects and give them advice for students and prepare the student to be able to work after graduation. We also examine the facility requirements, such for example, library, laboratories, and also regarding internet requirement and some other safety, lab safety, and so on. We also discuss and examine on institutional support, which is mainly 2 points that we have to examine during the evaluation. Is that is number one is the authority of the program facility management, given by the university level, and the second one is financial support from the university. Talking about the TABI program outcome, TABI has announced its 11 program outcome. Consider substantial equivalent to Washington Court graduate attribute, which is have 12 graduate attributes, 12 attributes that required by Washington Court. Some countries may announce 7 program outcome. Some country may announce 9 or 10 program outcome. But however, the Washington Court has considered substantial equivalence of graduate attribute announced by Washington Court. And that during the application for the TABI signatories status, we have compared our program outcome with the Washington Court graduate attribute. Number one is the engineering knowledge, and considered substantial by having the knowledge of mathematics, science, and engineering, which will emphasize on ability to apply knowledge of mathematics and natural science and engineering foundations, fundamental and specific engineering concept toward the solving of engineering problems. Number two, which is required as well, requirement as well, is the engineering problem analysis of complex engineering problem. And that very important for the engineering program to demonstrate the ability of the student to be able to solve the complex engineering problem, which is given by for the program, and to be exercised during the capstone design project. Number three is the design solution, which means talking about complex engineering as well, and also procedure of design, procedure of to solving problem, procedure to be able to study on simulation or building up the mathematical model for study of problems and so on, and also work together with the stakeholders or those who have problems during for example, environmental problems, sustainability problems, and so on, so on. As well as, I'm sorry, this is, we're doing investigation, which is on the issue of investigation by conducting investigation, which means mainly study on laboratories, document reviews, paper reviews, searching for knowledge through internet and so on, as well as interpretation, data interpretation, data engineering, and so on, have to be demonstrated by the program. Number 5 is the modern tool usage, which is ability to apply and create and select and apply for appropriate technique and equipment to solve engineering problems, which including IT tools and also the prediction modeling and so on. Number 5, I'm sorry, not number 5. On Washington Court, item 6, which is engineering and society level and knowledge responsibility. We have merging requirement on Washington Court 6 and Washington Court 7 together to announcing the responsibility toward the society, environment, and sustainability of engineering professions. And as well, ethics. We have to graduates have to demonstrate the ability and knowledge on ethics, and to be able to demonstrate and understand the professional ethic which is required and by the program. And talking about individual teamwork, we also have the issue for program outcome related to the teamwork, which should have to be function individually within the team or as a team leader as well, under difference of cultures and diversity of multidisciplinaries. And also we're talking about communication, which is required to student and graduate to be able to communicate by writing, presentation, as well as communication with the other people within the working group or within the society to make effective a presentation. This is also a requirement. And also project management as well as lifelong learning. This 11 program outcome announced by TABI consider substantial blend with the Washington Accord graduate tribute. TABI as well have the activity flowchart publishes. Normally, we accept application for accreditation during the first week of August, and we're having a program visit during the February and March, and we have the program accreditation result and announced by August next year. However, in order to synchronize our timeline with the Washington Accord reviewer team, this year we have to change our activity. It will start in May, and we will have the program visit in November and December, so that we can have international reviewer to be able to observe the activity TABI's accreditation. And by that activity, observation of TABI activity, the reviewer can write a report to IEA Washington Accord, in which is announce the meeting in June of every year. So in order to meet the requirement, in order to synchronize with international timeline, we'll have to adjust this activity flowchart and start it accreditation in May and finish it in June of the next year. Our accreditation process, we have documentary reviews, we have program visit, and we have accreditation report. First of all, we have to appoint PV, which is program evaluator, a set of 3-person team to work on and to review the document submitted by university program. And that's the first part of document review. Any requirement for additional document, and any requirement for factual or evidence, the reviewer may ask the program to further submit the document during the process and during time frame. But once the document review has been done, the PV team also make appointment with the program in order to have the program visit. The program visit here, we have 2 days program visit, which complete the fact-finding and evidence and based on description and information described in self-evaluation report submitted by the program. This program visit mainly to observe and to make sure that the program administration has been working accordingly to the document submitted, as well as we confirm the student graduate attribute, the student attribute that fit and go along with the graduate attribute announced by TABI, as well as announced by Washington Accord graduate attribute. After the program visit, then the PV team go back and work meet and issue the report, accreditation report. However, we also have an editorial group to work on some detail in order to normalize the difference and clarify the issue that may lead to some what you call not understanding, some point that may create the appeal. Then we have the reviewer team to be under. We will have the editorial team to work on the detail of that. So the report has been carefully constructed and considered for making decision on accreditation. The accreditation has been done by the meeting of EAC, the Commission Act Program Act Commission, and they will have the presentation of this report, and they will discuss on detail of the report and based on fact findings. And also the result of this accreditation, which we given to the university, will have full accreditation, which is 6-year cycle of accreditation. Or otherwise, if some requirement, some modification, some improvement we need, then the TABI will allow to have accreditation with requirement for the period of not exceeding 3 years period. This will allow the university program to submit further the result of modification and improvement based on requirement specified by the accreditation report. And number 3 is that the provisional accreditation, which is allow the new program to submit for accreditation. Those programs may not have the graduate, 2 years of graduate, so they may not have the complete profile of the education. So in the meantime, they can apply for accreditation, but we will give them provisional accreditation, which is required that if they have the graduate after 2 years of graduation class, they will have to reapply for accreditation one more time. Number 4 is deferred accreditation. In this case, which means that they may consider that may not meet the requirement of accreditation, need some improvement and need some proof on graduate attributes and some outcome, then the PV may consider defer of accreditation, or otherwise decline accreditation or revoke accreditation. The number 4 and number 5 is something that we don't want to have, and we don't want to consider in any case. So number 1 and number 2, which is full accreditation and accreditation with requirements, is something that we prefer to have the continuous improvement on the program and allow them to work on continuously. And number 3 is for new program. This is the number of program that TABI has been working on, and we announced accreditation of program. We have 7 engineering program. We have 6 engineering program applied from Chulalongkorn University and been accredited. And we have a bachelor degree of science in chemical engineering, which is offered by Faculty of Science, Chulalongkorn University, which is something that as well we do accredit. So altogether, we'll have 7 programs from Chulalongkorn University. We have 1 program from Chiang Mai University, Mechanical Engineering, and we'll have 1 program from Khon Kaen University, which is Industrial Engineering. And we have 1 program from King Mongkut University of Technology, North Bangkok, it's Chemical Engineering. And we also have another program from King Mongkut University of Technology, Thailand, Thonburi, for mechanical engineering program. And we have 3 programs from Chulalongkorn University of Technology, which is civil engineering, manufacturing, automation, and robotic engineering, and also polymer engineering. You can see that most of them are regulated engineering disciplines. However, we have some non-regulated engineering disciplines, such as computer engineering and also polymer engineering. They can apply for the accreditation. Some issue have to point out because this seminar would like to mobilize some mobility of the education and professions. I have 4 slides talking about this issue of mobility, and specifically for professional mobility, which is quite difficult in terms of why working on it. The first slide I'm talking about international reference document for engineering program, engineering competency recognition. This is announced by this is published by International Engineering Alliance, IEA. They meet every year in June of it. And they have this is number 4 revision, 4 revisions announced in June 2021 under the cooperation of the World Federation of Engineering Organization, which is supported by UNESCO. So this version 4 of graduate experience and professional competencies, we have working on the applying a sustainable development goal announced by UNESCO and incorporate into the graduate attributes and professional competencies. So in detail, it's a lot more of material that anyway, those who interested in this document, you can search from Google or websites and download this document. It's public domain anyway. And however, since it's announced by International Engineering Alliance and also Washington Court, consider on graduate experience, and some other professional organization consider on professional competency, then all members of IEA have to comply under this reference document. And during this period of time of 2022, 2023, and in the next couple of years and 4 years, there will be some change regarding graduate attribute and education requirement to meet requirement and to be able to have the UNESCO Sustainability Development Goal complying within the engineering education program. This slide announced by the Council near Thailand. On the left-hand side of the slide, there's a WA which signifies Washington Court, and it's purple colors. For Thailand, we have TABI working under Washington Court, as well as university offer education, and the outcome of this education is considered as graduate attribute, which is announced by Washington Court, 12 graduate attribute, and TABI considered 11 program outcome. And these graduate attributes, after having complete of the education, then those engineering graduates may enter the professional practicing in the site, may enter the engineering profession. By this international criteria as required, as this is IPA, which is called International Professional Engineer Agreement. This is agreement, professional agreement. This is a platform under IEA as well, and also APEC Engineer Agreement. This is also a platform under IEA as well. So Thailand, we have Council Engineer Thailand to work on it. So under this, Thailand have created the professional practicing regulation and encompass all these requirements, which is capacity building, and which is in this capacity building, which means that after graduation, the practitioner have to develop themselves through the capacity building, which means having structural training during the initial professional development, and as well as continuing professional development, and also knowledge and technical transfer. This requirement has been specified prescribed by the regulation of professional practice standard. Within this regulation for professional practice standard, we have 4 aspects of competency required by Council of Engineers Thailand, which is engineering knowledge and technology. We also have competency and skill in practice, and we also have professional leadership and management, as well as number 4 is awareness of professional practice on society and public. These 4 aspects of engineering competency requirement and has been incorporated with the IEA and APEC engineer professional competency requirement. And we have construct some evaluation and examination and assessment theme based on this one. As well as within the professional practice regulation, we also specify on code of services, code of conduct, and code of practice, which require member of Council of Engineers Thailand and also the holder of professional license have to meet requirement on the code of service, code of practice, and code of conduct as well, which is we do examine assessment on professional ability, which means that they have to have a responsible charge, which means announced by the Ministry of Interior of 6 responsible charge, engineering responsible charge, and as well as that this responsible charge have to be demonstrated through significant engineering work, which is described by basic as full-time engineering work, not just part-time job and so on, but full-time and contribute engineering practicing under this project. And professional achievement also has been considered as well during the examination and during the assessment of professional license, particularly for the professional license and senior professional license. Having met all these requirements, those engineers who have obtained professional license and senior professional license may consider professional competitiveness among the international arena, which is they're more involving in professional practice, engineering service, and also professional business sector. This which is work together under sustainable development goal requirement. Okay, thank you. So let me briefly issue this slide demonstrate the issue on mobility. And this has been studied by the Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia. This issue of mobility has demonstrated the point that have to address among the ASEAN countries. The first one is that professional competency and qualification. That we have the education recognition of qualification and also some requirement for the regulatory license. The second one is market access, which is we're talking about the movement of natural person among countries within ASEAN. We're talking about mode 4 of negotiation, which is mode 4 supply, movement of natural person, as well as we're talking about equity and equity restriction, which is the mode 3, business presence of negotiation and also free trade agreement. So under the COVID-19, mode 4 and mode 3, restriction on the restriction on the travel, restriction on the travel, cross-border travel have created a disruption on mode 4 and mode 3. So, but anyway, under the improvement of digital communication, mode 1 has coming up very strong, which is cross-border supply through logistics and through internet digital networking. So under this 3 point, market has changed. So we have to work on this as well during the study of the area. Also, non-MRA, which is issue has been pointing out regarding the movement of natural person. This is called taxation. We're talking about double taxation, reducing double taxation, which is completed by Ministry of Finance already. So under the immigration rules and also under work permit requirement, these 2 points is very difficult for adjustment because the requirement from each country is based on security of national security. So it's quite strictly controlled, in particular immigration department. Way forward to improve mobility. This is something that proposes to the coordinating committee on professional services. 3 points have been identified. The first one is to review domestic regulation professional services to have the MIA on professional services to achieve mobile harmonization and high level of utilization. Having these issues, so we also have the 3 issues have brought out. The first one is to improve recognition of qualification. The second one is to introduce the movement and due to the change of service delivery through digitization, which is changing from mode 3 and 4 to mode 1 of supply. And also we have to develop the model law or provision to incorporate into the MRA on professional service related to the law and regulation. Under this recommendation as well that ASEAN has working on this issue drastically and strongly working on it. Also, the point is that to accelerate and exchange on supply and demand of the ASEAN professional service. At this moment, it seems to be that professional service, mobility of professional service within the ASEAN country is very limited. It's not many people to be able to work across border. That probably because they don't want to. There's no record, not enough record on mobility of professional services. And also, we're talking about internships. We also talk about education, and we're talking about the training through virtual means. This is something that ASEAN have to work on and have to improve some regulation in order to promote professional mobility, which is very low at this moment. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor, for your broad explanation of what is the situation of engineering in Thailand in terms of the accreditation, the regulation. So now I will give the floor to the second expert speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Montri Shamkansikorn, Senior Advisor, Teacher Council of Thailand Secretariat. His experience in educational administration, both at the policy and university levels. He has served as Vice President of many universities, as well as Dean of the Faculty of Education. And throughout his career, he has been on the board of Teacher Council of Thailand continuously, and at present he's Senior Advisor of Teacher Council of Thailand, specialized in professional development. So, Professor, thank you very much for accepting this invitation to share with us your perspective about this issue. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. I am glad to participate in this conference I would like to share my point of view about the sharing of student mobility degree recognition in teacher education in Thailand. First of all, I would like to introduce about the Teacher Council of Thailand. Is established on 1945. For this year is around 78 years old now. We just have a celebrate in this month. Yeah, mainly our Teacher Council of Thailand mainly is to issue the teaching license, revoke the license for the teacher and principal in basic education. It means that from the early childhood to the high school, any person, if they want to be a teacher in Thailand, they have to get the license from the Teacher Council of Thailand, because the teacher profession in Thailand is controlled by the Teacher and Education Personnel Act. With this is a very strictly, yeah. Okay, I would like to show about today. I would like to show about how to be a teacher in Thailand. Yes, mainly I will just present in 3 areas. Yeah. The first one, this I think the main idea for the teaching profession in Thailand, this whole picture. Basically teachers are the most important foundation of education quality, because the quality of education can never be better than the quality of teachers. In another word, if we want to create a quality education system, we should start from selecting good and smart people to teach profession. Teachers are in fact placed the heart of education system by what leading country, which are considered successful in providing its quality education. Thailand also regards the significance of teachers' profession highly on our agenda. This logically explains why there have been an establishment of regulation by Teacher Council of Thailand on foreigners who are willing to have a teacher profession in Thailand. It is required that all persons performing the role of teacher in Thai school must uphold basic profession competency that can guarantee the ability to provide quality education. Each individual is required to undergo an evaluation guided by the key area of proficiency, namely knowledge, skill, attribute, and attitude, in order to obtain teaching license in Thailand. Thailand has established a systematic process for any person, Thai or foreigner, who wish to enter teacher profession to pass a standard proficiency test for teacher profession in order to ensure fundamental quality of Thai education. Thailand see that it is essential that any person in teacher profession should have fundamental understanding of teacher profession. One of the basic way, you can see the channel one. One of the basic ways is to have obtained a degree, either a bachelor degree, master degree, or doctorate degree, majoring in education, which had been certified the curriculum by Teacher Council of Thailand only. For instance, traditionally in Thailand, in order to obtain a professional teaching license or P license, the first is P license. If you graduate in education area, you get the P license first. A person is required to take a bachelor degree in education, consists of 4 years or 5 years course. We have a 4-year and 5-year course. I will explain again why 4 or 5. Once the person has complete one of these course, he or she will be granted a P license. This degree can be used as a qualification to enter in examination for becoming a government teacher, as well as to work for any private school, international school. Nevertheless, this P license will only be valid for 2 years only. Means by that those who hold P license are required to pass an examination to obtain a basic license or B license. B license is look like a standard license. Every teacher have to get at least B license. B license which had enabled them to advance in their teacher careers. After B license, they can get higher to advanced license again. In other words, for any person willing to become a teacher in Thailand, we have look like we have a four way. Okay, I will explain again how we can get the teaching license. For the channel 2 in the right hand side, refer to a person any nationality who hold degree measuring in different area other than education, and currently working as a teacher. Currently have to working as a teacher. The Teacher Council of Thailand is working hand in hand with all sectors to have in channel 2 apply for temporal waiver of basic license for 2 years, and strictly encourage them to work toward obtain a basic teaching license at the earliest opportunity. They have to take a course in the channel 2. They have to take course. We have 4 main way to obtain such license. First one, obtain a degree, either a bachelor, master, or doctorate degree measuring in education, which had been certified by Teacher Council of Thailand. The second way, complete a graduate diploma in teaching. Graduate diploma in teaching. This course is around 1.5 years. This course is only eligible for those currently teaching in school in Thailand only. And the third way, taking a training course established by the Teacher Council of Thailand, which can be enrolled online, consists of seven modules. Now we try to develop, look like the MOOC. There are 7 module. This program also only eligible for those currently teaching in school. These 3 options will grant P license to the person who have complete one of 3 options. After the completion of one of these options, the person is then eligible and highly encouraged to take examination to obtain basic license or B license. This applies to anyone, both Thai and foreigner. And the fourth way, a person who has obtained an education degree outside Thailand and or hold a teacher profession certificate abroad, is eligible to submit all relevant to document and license to Teacher Council of Thailand in order to acquire for P license if proved qualified. It is necessary to note that for a person who does not hold education degree or is not currently working as a teacher in school, it is of the view that there should no shortcut for entering to teaching profession, because teaching is not merely about expertise in that subject only, but the person should represent acceptance or quality of being teacher in guiding for effective learning process for students. It is therefore required that person must seek a degree in education, bachelor, master, or doctor degree, certified by Teacher Council of Thailand. Once you have complete the degree, you are then eligible to enter examination for a B license. In other words, option 2, credit teaching diploma and option 3 for 7-module program has been designed particular to solve the problem of having many teachers that have been applied for the web basic license. This is for the pro chart for the if they want to be a teacher in Thailand. The next one is I would like to try to explain about in the education area, we can transfer only the education cost, not degree. It's we can transfer the credit transfer in education costs, such as we send our student to study in foreign country. We can transfer the credit only in some course such as Gen Ed or major subject or elective subject course only. For the professional experience course, we cannot transfer. The Teacher Council of Thailand cannot accept for the professional experience course, because in teacher in education area, we have the requirement for every curriculum. Every student have to work in school for 1 year. 1 year from the first year to fourth year. They have to accumulate the time to work in school for 1 year. That's we have to use this in Thai school context only, not foreign country. Yes, this is for the curriculum with I said that 4 year and 5 year. Now we have both 4 year. Mostly there we run this curriculum in Thai university, but some universities such as Khon Kaen University, Burapha University, they have some look like a curriculum between such as China and Thailand. They study in China, such as study in China for 2 years and study in Thailand for 2 years. And after that, they have to practice teaching in Thailand for 1 year. This means that 5 years. Now we run this program, Burapha University run this program with China and University of Northern Colorado in US. This means they can get 2 degrees from Burapha University, Bachelor of Education and a Bachelor of Art or Bachelor of Science in China, in US. This is for the 5-year program. Yeah. And also for the degree recognition. Yeah. Now Teacher Council of Thailand just have this regulation. We start from this month. The minister just signed this regulation from this month. If some Thai or foreigner, they have hold a degree from foreign country or outside Thailand, they can submit the education degree to the Teacher Council of Thailand. After that, we have the committee to approve that degree is an education degree or not. After that, if they pass the approve, they get the P license first. But we have to evaluate them about the they have to teaching experience more than 1 year before they get the P license. When they pass, they get the P license, they have to apply to take exam for the B license again, not automatically. It means that if they want to transfer the degree, they have to approve by the Teacher Council of Thailand first. This is a new way for the Thai or foreigner who hold a degree from the outside Thailand. Yeah. This is look like the framework for teacher competency. With Teacher Council of Thailand, try to work with the ASEAN country we would like to make look like the teacher competency, the same competency in ASEAN or in Southeast Asia, because now in Thailand we have the foreign teacher to work in Thailand more than I think 300,000. Most of them they come from Philippines, from Singapore, and from Western country. How we can accept such as Singapore teacher from Singapore to work in Thailand if we can prove that the Singapore teacher or Malaysia or Indonesia, if they have the same framework with the teacher competency, if we can accept together, we can accept them to apply to get the teaching license in Thailand. But now you see we work this from the 2017, but now you see not active now. But Teacher Council of Thailand try to use the competency to work with the Southeast Asia in 11 countries. That this is the Southeast Asian country for the teacher conception framework, what no effects on the action now, just only Thailand. Yeah, this is the mainly of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor, for your presentation. So I will invite the both speaker to the main table. Please stay, Professor. And we will open the floor here and virtually. If we have, there are questions. Yes, sorry. Let's see. Okay, I would like to know. Let me see. I would like, the question is to me. I would like to know your view or experience regarding professional bodies such as Engineer Council or Teacher Council in your country or Europe. Does a professional body or any regulation body relate study programs, and how any major difference from what have been shared by the two distinguished speakers in this session? Okay. Let's see if there are any other concrete questions to the panelists. It's here in the floor. If not, I will start answering this question, and then I will pose some questions to the panelists. I think that the experience shared by the two experts are aligned, of course, with the work that we have been developing in tuning. As many of you know, this CALOHEA project, it's completely related to the tuning initiative. We try to benchmark and to identify reference point as these two councils in the two different subject areas develop. I think that probably, and this is also part of some of the questions that I would like to pose to the panelists, are in relation to the way that, in particular, for instance, in the first intervention in relation to engineering, how you assess these 11 programs outcomes in terms of the TAVI, or in relation to the Council of Education, how you assess all these competence that are agreed on 2017, and they are in the process of implementation in Thailand. I think that probably one of the main difference, probably because, of course, you have a short time for the presentation, is how this can be implemented in in reality. So how these program-based outcomes can be assessed, can be checked from, in this case, from the authorities for the license, for the acceptance and regulation. My experience in terms of these models are that from tuning, and in particular from CALOHEA, we are trying to develop a more precise tools to try to assess these dimensions, these program key elements, or whatever you can mention. I think that trying to answer the question from my colleague, this probably is the main aspect. But I prefer now to give the floor to the panelists in order to check how you move forward in terms of this agreement.
Thank you very much for the questions. Regarding the accreditation, you can see as TABI within the Thailand. Of course, that very difficult for us at the beginning to access. First of all, we have to train our program evaluator to access for on the point of graduate outcome, which is described by TABI and also described by international accord regarding the graduate attributes that prefer to have. So the program have to demonstrate the achievement of this program outcome or student outcome in another area, which means that on those 11 aspects of program, TABI program outcome, have to be tied in with the course learning outcome. The course learning outcome as well have to tie in with the teaching and learning and also expected learning outcome provided by curriculums. And the teacher have to evaluate student based on expected learning outcome and have to be aligned with the program outcomes. So under the course instructions, the teacher have to, instructor have to keep monitoring the progressive, which means that TABI also require for progressive and summative evaluation of the student achieved through the learning of the courses. And demonstrated, those demonstrations can be evidence and can be gathered by outcome assessment through the capstone design project, which is the requirement for the almost every engineering graduate to go through this capstone project, which emphasized on complexity of the project, which is representing real life problem given out to the student and working in team. So about 3 or 4 student teams have to work on capstone project, which is the last year of education. And this requirement, as it is an international requirement as well, that capstone project have to be monitored and closely monitored. And the TABI as accreditation body have to find evidence of achievement of the student to match with the graduate attribute described by TABI and also described by Washington Accord. So the entrance, the program instructor have to gather this evidence, not just by focus group or not just by what you call surveying, but in every aspect. For example, if it's during the class teaching, they have to examine the behavior student, progression toward the problem given at the beginning of the semester, and what they can achieve during the mid-semester, and also what they can achieve after the completing of the course. As well as they have to do alignment on this course with another consecutive course, which is required that the instructor have to work together, not just one individual instructor, but the team in order to emphasize on program outcome. After what we measure during the program visit is to interview the student, which they are first year student, second year student, third year and final year student, as well as graduate alumni, so that we can verify that what they have learned progressively and they have learned what they have achieved after the graduation. And through this interview, which is summarized by the self-evaluation report prepared by the program, then we make judgment on the completion and what need to be improved. We also, the program evaluator have to discuss and write up the report regarding this requirement. So this is the way of the TABI as an accreditation agency working on like this. And we have to make the new program understand in depth of alignment of the course teaching and achievement of the program objective, because all these have to tie into with the program objective of PEO, which is very often that because Thailand is shifting from prescriptive-based education to the outcome-based education, even though it's announced for 20 years already, but the actual working on the outcome-based evaluation is very difficult for the university and instructor to work and to switch from prescriptive-based to outcome-based education, which means that the role of the instructor have to change from lecturing in front of the class, but through mentoring. And this is need some training, need some experience. So we hope that with this environment and having increased the number of programs accredited by TABI, then the university program and university academia can transfer lessons learned from each other, and they can develop the way of teaching and learning to meet the requirement of outcome specified by the curriculum. And that what we do together. But what we also make sure that everything is confidential, everything is transparencies, everything and everything is peer review, which is not enforcing, using rule and regulation to enforce everything, but also to pursue and to to promote, not to enforce. This way that we hope that we can learn from each other and having achieved the outcome-based education. That's good.
Thank you, Professor, for the clarification. It is clear that for civil engineering, the Washington Accord, the international reference are very strong, and it's very helpful for the different countries and the institutions to set up a dialogue with this international big umbrella reference. What is in this case for the Council of Teacher Education, in terms of the same question, how you assess these competences that agree on 2017, so how you operationalize this from the point of view of the Council of Education?
Okay, thank you. I would like to separate in two sections. One is a pre-service teacher training in university, and another one is for the in-service teacher training after they graduate from the university. For the Teacher Council of Thailand, we have the regulation to look like accredit the education curriculum for the university with for pre-service teacher training. The university have to submit the curriculum to the Teacher Council of Thailand. They have the curriculum required to put the teacher competency or teacher conceptual framework in their curriculum. the Teacher Council of Thailand have to approve the curriculum which have to meet requirement at least at the minimum requirement for the teacher consumption framework. And also they have to submit to the Ministry of Higher Education to check the structure of the curriculum. If they pass from the Minister of Higher Education and Teacher Council of Thailand, both they have to approve to recruit the student to study in that curriculum. And also we control one class, not more than 30 students. We control. For the first year, if they recruit the student, they have to send the name to the Teacher Council of Thailand to register. This is a mean that this the student in that faculty of education, that university. After that, we have the process to accreditation for the process. We have the committee to check and to look like we check the qualification of the professor. They have to graduate in that area. They can teach one class, not more than 30 students. They have the to decide the learning course for the look like they have to decide the course, give them to have some experience in school, because we use the concept of the outcome-based learning. It means that they have to develop the student to have the knowledge, skill, and attribute and attitude. The main problem in teacher education now is how we can make our teacher to have the ethics and the teachership. This is the main problem in Thailand now. We think about that. This is we try to check the process. And the third is the student outcome. The student outcome, the university have to assess for the teaching experience. The professor, in university have to assessment with the school, because the student have to practice teaching in the school. They have to assessment them and send the result to the Teacher Council of Thailand to register in the database. After that, if they graduate the curriculum and pass the teaching experience, they can get the P license. After that, they get the P license. They have to take the exam for get the basic license in 2 years. This is for the pre-service teacher training. After they go to school, they work in school. Now in Thailand, we have the how to say authentic assessment for the in-service teacher training, because every teacher in Thailand have to focus on the classroom, focus on the student learning, and we require the principal have to go to observe the teacher in the back of the classroom at least 5 hours per week. 5 hours per week. It means that the principal have to observe that teacher, how they perform. We call this a performance agreement, and they have to record the video. And video have they have to record the video. After that, we have the committee to decode the video, how they perform, and we evaluate, we assess from the video if they can perform for the teaching their student very good. They can upgrade the career path. It means that we no need to get any document from the teacher, because we use the video tape to evaluate our teacher. And also we evaluate from the outcome from the student in school in 3 areas. The first one, we try to analyze the the student product, we try evaluate in 3 areas. The first one is a basic skill, cognitive ability, and the third one is a cross-functional skill. We no need to any document from the teacher, but they have to submit the exact project from the student in their classroom to the system. Now we use the digital performance appraisal system now in Thailand. This means that we use this system for the pre-service and in-service. We start this project around 2 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor, for the clarification. I think that we are almost on time, but I would like to thank you very much for both contributions, because I think it's relevant after the morning session where we try to introduce the work that we have done in CALOHEA project. It is very clear that there is a close dialogue between the development at national level, but with this connection with international reference in civil engineering in particular, but also in teacher education, with this with the work done in CALOHEA. So they are completely aligned, and I think that your contribution will enrich, of course, the development that we had in this project. So thank you very much for your contributions. I think that we have time for a break till 3 o'clock. It's okay. No, it's 15 minutes or half an hour. Let me see. 15 minutes. Oh, okay, very short. Okay, so we'll have 15 minutes for coffee break. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, now we have coffee break for 15 minutes. So I would like to request the audience to get refreshed and please join back on time for the presentation at around 2:45 p.m. Okay, thank you.
มีคนถาม conversation กับ framework ซึ่งผมไม่ได้อธิบายในตัวของผม
น่าจะเวลาด้วยค่ะ แต่ว่าแชร์เห็น
Technology, Thonburi, Thailand. He is currently master student in educational management at Chulalongkorn University. He has been working in the field of education since 2019. During his career, he has been to many countries to build and collaborate to exchange programs with many institutions.
So thank you so much for the nice introduction, and good afternoon, everyone from here and online and on site. So first I will share these three topics on perspective of employer. It's the teacher's education. So the first thing I'm going to share is the current trends of student mobility and the labor market in Thailand needs and challenges. The second one is perspective on the impact of student mobility experiences. And the third one is student employability in the VUCA world. But anyway, so let me talk about my context first, because my contact, I'm working in the private school in Bangkok, and then like my school provide K to 12 education. So I'm going to talk about the perspective of employer. So first, I'm trying to relate the research to back up what I'm talking. So the first one is talking about the trends of student mobility. The first thing I'm talking about the size first. As you can see here in the statement presented in this slide, the number of internationally mobile students experienced an almost threefold increase from 2 million in 1999 to 6 million in 2019. It's totally true. And as I can observe from my student joining the student mobility program, it's gradually increased year by year due to the trends of internationalization. But it's actually back then, before 2019, you can see like many organizations have involved and established the student mobility program, and we can see lots of opportunity. For example, like could boost labor market. We can see lots of improvement and development of the student for sure. It's help expanding student knowledge and skill. And it's also the challenges, as you can see here in the slide. In 2020, international student mobility ground to a halt with the COVID-19 pandemic, creating much certainty about the future of cross-border mobility. And it's totally true again, right? Starting from 2020, I've zero student joining the student mobility program, or zero student joining the exchange program. There are changes and there's challenges according from then. But actually, we also say now's the time for us to going forward in the year 2020. And it says the current trends at my school, just only trends at my school. So this year, 2020, and I'll let you think about what we can do in the higher education and what can we predicted in higher education. This just for the high school, a statistic. This is a trend from my school. As you can see, like the student joining long-term program, approximately 40 students this year. Long-term program, almost 30 students, double number of the student, double increase. And full degree, mostly when they graduate in grade 12, they joining local international program, more than 30 students, and they join overseas study, more than 15 students a year. So we can see like the number of students joining the student mobility program is higher and higher. And then there's challenges, and then there's lots of things that we can do here in the trends of student mobility. Not just that, as we struggle in the COVID pandemic. So, but there's a challenges, and the chance again came up. The growth of remote and online learning will necessitate broader definition of who count as an international student. The increase in worker student mobility during and after the pandemic. As you can see in this statement, this discussion in the research, what we can see, because we are now familiar with online learning, we're now familiar with, things in online, life much easier, lives of the student, student behavior and learning change, so they're familiar with online learning. For sure, hybrid program occur. Virtual student mobility occur during this era. It save cost and it save time, right? So this is our challenges, and this is also the trends again. As of my experience taking care of exchange programs, student study abroad, those are the barriers that we can easily see and vivid seen. So the first one is financial constraint, of course, right? The second one, inflexible and over full curricular, meaning like some of the course there, the student, it's require prerequisite things, and it require many conditions. For example, the language proficiency level, well, those will be our constraint and barriers as well. The next one is lack of incentive for faculty to support study mobility. It's right, because it's another extra tax for faculty, staff, and teachers to take care of those group of students. Failure to engage non-traditional students in study abroad, limited view on potential destination. It is another barrier. For example, like as you can see from my previous slide, 40 students joining short-term program. You know what? 30 students joining to go to England. That because of there are lots of shopping centers, there are lots of attractive travel attraction, this and that, but only 10 of my students joining New Zealand because they thought in their perception they're only sheep and farm, this and that, you know what. So actually they have limited views on some of the potential destination. This is another things that we can think about in higher education or even like high school education as well. And the really important one, which is the last one that I highlighted in the red color, is lack of the language skill. This is our big barrier for the student. Even they have lots of money, but sometimes language can be a problem. In another research, it also claimed that factors that limit student mobility is the lack of foreign language skill, and it is totally true. So that's why my school tried to provide the language program or even try to develop the curriculum that support the students who are interested in the student mobility program to have them to be able, to be more confident in order to use the foreign language in the than destination country. Well, the next thing that I would like to discuss is for sure the impact of student mobility experiences. For those students who've been in the student mobility program, for sure, like these are the traits, I would say, and ability to work in a team, computer literacy, sector specific skill, of course, communication skill, of course, because even their own language or their target language, I would say, and ability to adapt to new situation quickly. That is totally true for those who've been in student mobility experiences, like they are easily adapted to any new situation. Acquisition of analytical and problem solving skill, of course, for sure, like we all can totally understand, like those are the traits that will impact, those are the characteristics of students who've been in the student mobility, but because of they have confidence, and it's also impact the school as the employer, meaning like one, we accept those teachers who've been in the program, so they're inspired, they lead at large, they have the effective work for sure. And as you can see here, the internationalization has a significant influence on the development and improvement of the learning process. For example, the qualities of learning has improved thanks to the student mobility. Of course, as is mentioned here, it's talking about the qualities of learnings. Vice versa, it's also the qualities of working as well. When those students come back to be a teacher in the school as the employer, so we can see like they have those traits as I presented in the previous slide. They have confidence, they have ability to adapt a new situation, they are able to communicate. Lots more of the characteristics that they gained from joining the program. So that you will see like not just the qualities of learning occur in the school and the qualities working occur in the team as well as they are the team player. Last but not least, I think I hit 10 minutes. Okay. Student employability in the VUCA world, of course, I would say yes, for sure. If comparing to the one who apply for a job, if they've been through the program, I would say I'll 100% accept them, that because they have for sure at least some of those one of those characters that I mentioned earlier. But the thing is, like, these are the key things that in the VUCA world, and those are the characteristic that we really want to see from them. The first one is risk taker. Of course, like thinking outside the box. There's be able, to work from their comfort zone. Opportunity seekers, I would say in another word, is the problem seeker, which is like they're trying to seek for a new chance and in the new situation. And the last one is rule breakers, for sure. Like they always break the rule because they have confidence, but we need to talk to them if they have any reasons. Really, we are willing to break the rule with them as well. As I mentioned, we can easily distinguish, of course, for sure, between students who been in the program or not been in the program. So in sum up, I would like to say those students will have benefits from joining the program. At least they have the dynamic mindset, and it's worth having them in the workplace. I would say thank you so much.
Thank you for your nice presentation, and exactly to point to the risk. This is a risk. We will discuss on it after. So now, Professor Chirapat Kulofas is full-time lecturer at Division of Educational Management, Department of Educational Policy, Management and Leadership, Faculty of Education in Chulalongkorn University. He has taught at both bachelor's and master's and doctoral levels. In addition to teaching, he has also done research and published articles in many international journals, expertise in leadership and professional development. He has been doing a research project together with the Teachers Council of Thailand and the Office of Teacher Civil Service and Educational Personnel Commission in order to develop the teacher profession standard and teacher education curriculum. So please.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure and honor to be a part of this very important conference. My part here today is to talk about the academic side of the student mobility. And the first part I want to talk about is the current situation of student mobility and the labor market in Thailand from the perspective of academics. First of all, let me tell you about my context. I am teaching in the Department of Educational Leadership, Policy and Management. And we basically foster or prospective school leader. So the current situation now is most of our students are part-time, about 90% part-time students. And rarely do we get any student who wants to, exchange because they still need to work full-time. But in the past few years, we started seeing incoming students, especially from neighboring countries and China, who have gained interest in coming to Chulalongkorn University. Some of them even applied to the Thai program, which really surprised us because we're not sure if they really have, a Thai language ability to really take part in the learning process. So so it's not common for us to get involved in student mobility, but we do see some students who have shown interest in the exchange programs, especially in the PhD level. The first thing I want to talk about is mostly about the labor market in Thailand and why student mobility might be beneficial to our current students. First is the increased requirement for English language skills for educators in Thailand. We all know that English is important, definitely, but in the past few years, the Ministry of Education has been pursuing, or at least trying to put in place rules or standards that require teachers to be proficient in English at certain levels. And there's still a lot of resistance on this issue, but we believe that more and more prospective teachers would be, more inclined to learn more or explore the opportunities to become more proficient in English, and student mobility, especially having this experience abroad, would really help. In our Faculty of Education, I think we have this sort of Thai teaching Thai language in the US for many years now, and it's become very popular with the undergrad students. Many of them came back, and from my experience, they change personally as a person. Some become more confident, and sometimes they decide not to become a teacher in public school, but rather be more risk-taking and work in different sectors, especially in international school, and which we'll talk about later. So yes, English has become more and more important. The second is the graduates these days, they know more about the requirements for them to have a successful career, and in order to do that, they need to get the highest degree as possible. And for example, master degree in Thailand it's considered just not enough anymore. A lot of them, if they can afford, they want to do PhD. And if you want to do PhD in a leading university, you need to pass certain level of English proficiency, and that's that create more interest in in opportunities or experience to gain proficiency in English. And they also need to be able to understand and access this knowledge when they do research. Because at Chulalongkorn University, we set certain level of English standard, and a lot of PhD students who don't have enough, proficiency in English, they kind of struggle. So this become more important for them. Another one I just mentioned is the career opportunity in the international school sector. Because a lot of graduates, they see the opportunities in international school, not only for the benefits of salary, but other opportunities as well. So we start seeing this more and more, that our graduates want to explore the opportunity for the exchange program. Lastly is about linking with the international network educators. The leading high schools in Thailand, especially in Bangkok and his school as well, I think they all have the network, a professional network with other schools in other countries. And I think every year some teachers who have this international experience, they they get the opportunity to represent the school for the exchange program for teachers, or leading some students for the summer program, or leading them for Olympics contest. So these are the labor market needs that would create more interest for students regarding student mobility program. Next, I want to talk about the role of academic staff towards student mobility program. Of course, the first thing is to promote the program. I mean, I myself personally encourage my students, especially my advisees, to consider this. But like I said, many of our students now work part-time, so they have these obstacles to engage in such program. But we start seeing more incoming students from neighboring countries, like I mentioned before. Second, our role is to advise. I have had students from other countries to join our program, from Cambodia, Vietnam, and China. And we just started program a couple of years ago during COVID-19. So some of our students we haven't met. My own research advisor, I haven't met him. And they do have a lot of questions when they plan to come in this year. So I think this is a role that's really important for academic to really help them prepare for the challenges that they will face when they come to Thailand. Next one is curriculum development. I think the exchange program should not just just send the students over, but I think the academics should really work with the host universities to make sure that the program serve both of the universities well and satisfy student needs. And also these days, the students would like to get credits for the exchange rather than just experience. So I think the curriculum development has become very important. Next is facilitating collaboration. For example, potential research or projects. I personally have this experience myself, and start seeing more students from my collaborating partners to send the students over. So I think it has become beneficial to all parties, academics and students alike. Supporting, I have one student who's doing exchange in the US at the Columbia University now. And yeah, one of the things that I do is to keep in touch with him regularly to make sure that he's not late on his submitting or registering on the school credits for the next semester and so forth. So this is a role for the academic as well. And lastly, it's about the evaluating and assessing. We as the academic should make sure that the program that the students experience are worth repeating, what their feedbacks are, and make sure that the future programs can be improved. Lastly, I want to talk about the suggestions toward this student mobility. First of all, in order to attract, and even for our own sake, we need to improve the quality of education and the quality of instruction in the higher education here. Otherwise, it won't be sustainable for the student mobility program. The curriculum also need to be aligned with the standards, and we start seeing For example, the AUNQA that is become more important in terms of even in the context of Chulalongkorn University. Next is building. We need to build strong partnership with foreign universities. From my experience, I think Chulalongkorn University is really lucky to be probably one of the top universities in this country. So we attract a lot of initiatives, but our problem is our staff are quite, have heavy workload. And Dr. Penwala is laughing. So it's more of a which partnership would work best for us. But we understand this is really important going on forward. And lastly, strengthening. We need to, like I mentioned before, make sure that students can transfer credit. So accreditation system, should be in place to ensure that the degrees earned in Thailand and internationally can work both ways. So this is all my part of the presentation today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. So the last one, Mr. Titipong Borisut, 3-year student, bachelor student, I suppose, 3-year student from the Faculty of Education, Chulalongkorn University, who now you can speak and share with us.
All right, thank you so much. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Titipong Borisut. I'm a 3rd-year student in the Faculty of Education, Chulalongkorn University. So first of all, I would like to say that I'm a believer. I do believe in opportunity, especially in the field of education. Because as someone who is very passionate in education, I feel like education is something that can change the world. It can transform one's mind. And that is why we student teachers nowadays, we are trying our best to improve ourselves to be the best that we can be, to be at the expected competence of the teacher in Thailand. But unfortunately, I feel like we're lacking of something. And that thing is opportunity. At this point, you might have some question in your mind, like, what do you mean by opportunity? You have many great professors that can help you with your study. You also have the learning materials, and there are many universities and institutions that can help you with your study. But what I meant was actually about the opportunity in international context. I feel like nowadays we can learn anything online. We can learn what active learning is. We can learn what is phenomenon-based learning, or we can even learn how each country is doing their teaching and learning. But the thing is, we cannot experience those things. I feel like learning and experiencing, I value experience more because we can sense it. And once we experience it, we're going to learn it as well. So talking about student mobility, most of us students in Thailand, I feel like we're all really want to go study abroad. Who doesn't, right? So many of us are trying our best to fulfill our dreams. And in this century, in this 21st century, the skills that we need to have, these skills cannot be taught only in classroom, such as lifelong learning skills and, of course, resilience. These skills cannot be taught in classroom. It has to be taught during your daily life, just by living your life each day. So, and when we cross the border between two countries, it doesn't mean that we only learn the context of the thing we're going to learn. We're learning the way people act, the way people live, the tradition, the culture, and most importantly, the way people teach and learn. So yes, this is why I feel like student mobility and learning across cultures and countries is very important nowadays. So unfortunately, there are also challenges in student mobility. In my point of view, I will divide it into 3 aspects. The first aspect is financial. The second one is mental. And the third one is personal and unexpected events. The first one's financial. to be honest, we all know that learning across countries is expensive. It's not affordable for everyone. And not many scholarships and fundings are available for education degree. Actually, there are, but most of them are government scholarships. And the fewer the scholarships are, the harder the competition is. So yes, we do have to try our best to do what we love to do and to get what we need to get to improve ourselves. And the second one is mental. To be honest, Asian students' characteristics, we tend to be shy and not confident, even though we are better nowadays. We gain our confidence more, but most of my friends in the Faculty of Education, sometimes they have everything it takes, but they're afraid. They're afraid of going to other countries. They're afraid of learning new things. They're just stuck to what they think is good for them. So, and of course, there's going to be language barrier as well, as Dr. Dirapat mentioned. Yes, there's going to be language barrier, and moreover, there's going to be cultural awareness. And yes, to conclude, they're scared to do new things. And the last thing that I feel like this one is the challenging for student mobility is the personal issues and unexpected events. So what is unexpected events? For example, like the pandemic. Whoever thought that this could happen in this century? Like you have to change from learning on campus to learning online, and you have to adapt yourself into new things, not just the students, but also the teacher as well. And for example, like in personal issues, let me share my experience. I live in a family of 3. And if I want to go studying abroad, I have to leave my mom and dad here, and they're gonna get old, and I'm Asian, I have to take care of them. So yeah, so this is personal experience, and this is one of the things that pulls me from going anywhere. Oh, sorry, from going anywhere. And this is the first step of studying abroad. When you got there, there are going to be challenges coming after. For example, like cultural issues, adaptability of yourself, homesickness, you're going to miss your food, of course, and academic issues. When you learn in different countries, you're going to learn in English, and the proficiency of English nowadays for people, I believe it's getting better. But yes, to study is gonna take more than conversational English. It's gonna be academic English. So language barrier is one of the things that we should consider in student mobility. So what is the key to this thing? I feel like the key to this thing is internalization. Internalization can tackle every issue that I mentioned. For example, you can learn in one university and get the credit transfer to another university. I feel like by doing this, we can reduce the cost of learning. We can reduce the fear in the student's mind. And of course, we can tackle the issues of personal issues or the unexpected events because it's flexible. And there are going to be challenges in internationalization and degree transfer as well. I feel like we have to ensure that students will get the experience in the duration of the time, because as I mentioned, by learning in other countries and learning in different courses, you're not just learning, you're experiencing it, and you have to gain both things at the same time. So we have to ensure that by the time that we learn, we're going to get those experience. And the teacher training in Thai school, student teachers in Thailand we have to train in the school for almost 1 year. So the curriculum design is important as well to make sure that we're gonna get the experience, and in the meantime, we can do the teacher training in Thailand to be able to get the teacher's license. By doing this, I believe that it can help us on our future achievements. We can improve ourselves, our competence to be the best that we can be for our future students. And yes, I feel like this method can help fulfilling the dream of mine to be a better teacher. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your very inspiring discussion. So we have, I think, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So there is some questions about mobility, about all what we speak actually? No question? And here, no? In fact, something that appeared during the discussion many times, both at the employer, academic, and the student level, is risk-taking. Risk-taking at different level. And my point is, making a mobility only to make a mobility is not necessarily the objective. But as you clearly mentioned, is to obtain new competencies in the sense to work in an international context, to work in a team with other culture. And so maybe this kind of risk have to be taken. And my question is, both from employer and academic, how to encourage, how to help the student to take this kind of risk from your point of view, and in the context of Thailand and teacher education. Can we imagine some mechanism to help this?
Actually grabbing the microphone, not just to answer first. I will pass the microphone to Dr. Thirapat first.
He's my advisee, by the way. Thank you very much. Good question. How do we encourage students to become more risk-taking? From my experience, I mentioned before that we start seeing incoming foreigners in our program, and I think that's sort of the environment that can create conversations and experience with our Thai students here in Thailand to exchange, to practice that English first of all, and communication skills and learning cultures from other foreigners, but they also getting them to realize that there are things out there that they don't understand. I mean, you can't just learn everything from online, right? And I think that kind of environment can really make them question their existing knowledge and understanding. And also in our teaching approach, we like to kind of force them a little bit to instead of just sticking with, for example, Thai textbook or Thai cases, I would maybe just, hey, I'll give X points if you show me some interesting cases from other countries, and some video clips from different cultures that would extending your understanding within certain subjects or topics. So that's something that I think we as academics can do to sort of make them go out of their comfort zone, and hopefully can foster that risk-taking capability. Thank you.
Now it's my turn to answer this question. Pretty much the same as Dr. Thirapat mentioned, but I would like to add something. For example, what I believe is we're afraid of what we don't know. For sure, everybody afraid of what we don't know, and then like we would love to stay in our comfort zone. We will do things what we comfortable doing with like those things that we are feeling like it can be in our hands. But what I believe is we need to really understand what's their needs, what's they would love to get help from us, what kind of help they would like to get, for example. And perspective of employer, for example, if I would like to send one of the teachers to study abroad, taking some kind of such program, I think like we need to ask them what they really need. At certain level, if, for example, if they need language proficiency, if they need some help support in terms of financial support or whatever support, if they have some kind of certain confidence, I'm pretty sure they can cross over. I mean, they're broader, they can be risk taker at the end. That's what I believe.
Thank you. And maybe a last question for you in the other sense. What you will expect from your university for helping you to go abroad? Do you expect something?
Okay, so for my university, which is Chulalongkorn University, I feel like Chulalongkorn University offers many programs for exchanging, for student exchange, and I feel like they already helped us a lot. But what I think they can do more is that they can put more like exchange program for just a short period of time, because sometimes when we see a program for like 1 year, we think, are we going to survive in another country for a year? Or what if it's not working out? How could we solve this problem? So that is why I feel like maybe just try something for a short period of time and just figure it out whether it works out for you or not after that. Or another thing is that I feel like they can give us more opportunities on exchanging program by increasing the numbers of people. Because sometimes some of my friends, when they see the information and they say like they're gonna give this scholarship or fundings to 2 or 3 people, they might think that I'm not gonna get it, I'm not gonna get it anyway. So first of all, we need to change our mindset. But what I think they can do more is that they can give us more opportunities and choices in exchanging program, like the duration of the program or the number of the people that they expected to be in the program, so that we can have more confidence and we're going to be comfortable choosing the program. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So I don't know. Many more questions. You have a question? No. Oh, it's okay. See, no more questions. So I think we can conclude. Thank you very much.
Okay, on behalf of all of us, I would like to thank Chair as well as all the presenters who shared their knowledge with us. Before study the next session, we will have some break for 15 minutes. So I would like to request you all to be back by around 3:45. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, okay. We welcome all of you back. And now we have our last session, which will be focused on prospect and challenges from the views of academic staff, students, and employers in civil engineering. This session will also be chaired by Dr. Miriam Azma from University of Montpellier. So I would also like to invite Dr. Miriam Azma. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So we're happy to welcome you for this last session about internationalization, mobility of students, etc. So I propose we start with Mr. Panit Supasiriluk. He is director of the executive board of Performax Building Service Co. Ltd, I suppose in Bangkok. So please, you can start your speech.
Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Panit Supasirilak. And today, thank you very much for opportunity to join today. For my part to present about working with foreigners, which I myself do not use English in daily life. So I maybe read a short note sometimes. But we try to communicate because of the current situation. We need to work with both customers, team members, and real people who may be foreigners at all times. Okay, I will introduce myself a little bit. I graduated from this university, Chulalongkorn University, both bachelor degrees and master degree. I graduated at this Faculty of Engineer and MBA. So in terms of work, I opened my company that I call Performax for 16 years. And I working in engineering work all time. Today, there are 12 engineers in my company from 40 employees. In terms of project, my company works in the design, consulting, and auditing. By trying focus with the quality work, so finding the team is necessary task. And in the past, a new graduate engineers were selected from our company first, and we select this Chulalongkorn University first because it had the qualification required by our company. But the current work, our team have to work with foreigners in many projects. The main project is request knowledge and cooperation with the university in Singapore and Chulalongkorn University to explore the facades. Sorry. Okay. In the past of the work, we used to work with foreigners in many projects. The main project is requiring knowledge and cooperation with the university in Singapore and the Chulalongkorn University. For example, to explore the facade inspection, which Chulalongkorn University has a guideline that has been researched. And Singapore has a knowledge center about the drone at the Republic Polytechnic. After that, we visit this university. We can do the work from this knowledge for 5 projects. And then this is a very important project for us. It's a monitoring the impact of the building from the vibration that have occurred from the nearby construction. This cooperate with the Chulalongkorn University and in the Japan. So we do the research with this equipment that can monitor the vibration on the building. So after that, we gain this knowledge, so we can present to our customer and able to do this project with the continue and develop it again. By both part project, this project manager is the project engineer from this university that have to can speak English or communicate in English too. And in summary, I will want to tell you that the trend of the work today, we have to work with the foreigner more than the past. And for example, some building is a foreigner owners or the team from the foreign as well. And some building or some factory is a foreign too. So we want to be the engineering company that can communicate or can work with every country like that. And so the basic requirement for our engineer, the first of all is the can communicate, not as well like me, but just only communicate or can do with every country in Thailand. And today, at now, we have opportunity to do the design with the architect from England too. So this is the first time it's hard to work with them, but when we work together for 2 or 3 projects, so now we can do it better. This is really important that we can not only do as Thai people or Thai engineer, but we have to prepare ourselves to do with many countries. Okay, in the summary, in the information that I would like to share with everybody today is a current project. It's not only working in the Thailand, but we need to work with the foreigners. The thing to find the new knowledge, new technology, we cannot find from our country anymore, but we have to find in Singapore, China, Japan too. So we cannot do only our company, but have to find in many countries that I tell you before. And the basic requirement that is everyone can use English to communicate, and it don't have to very good, but please can communicate with each other. Okay, like that. And today, even though my company has no foreigner engineer now, but I think in the future, many maybe we have opportunity to do with them, at least maybe to cooperate with a foreign company like that. Okay, today I'm finished my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the details that you present in your presentation. So now let me give the talk to Associate Professor Chayut Ngakanong, PhD from the Department of Civil Engineering at Chulalongkorn University.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chayut Ngakanong. I'm the representative from the Department of Civil Engineering, Chulalongkorn University. So today, what I'm going to talk is about the student mobility and degree recognition based on my experience. I've been just first of all, I just want to tell you that I've been working with Jula for 1.5 years. And then what I've seen from the faculty is today, what I'm going to talk is based on my 1.5 year experience and based on my when I was a student. So this is basically my thought. And so let's just expand you a bit. Here is the goals of our departments. So this is what we set. Our goals are to develop high competence of students to serve the industry. In the past, when I was a student, we were taught how to serve the industry in the national level. But nowadays, when I'm teaching with the new faculty, with the new students, so we trying to teach them in the international levels. And then we try to create research, to improve industry and to support SDG research to solve social and other issues. So this is not only for the national level, but for the international levels. So there are two keywords that I'm going to mention is the students and research. So in July, in our department, we use research to drive our education system. So I just want to show you, this is in 2002. As I mentioned that in maybe 12 years ago when I was a student here, there were no international people here much, maybe just two or maybe just they are from just 2 or 3 countries. But this is in 2002. There were based on the data that I have got from the admin. So we had students from Laos. That's why at that time we taught in Thai, but so that's why we have Laos and can understand Thai, can totally understand Thai, can totally write in Thai. So there's no problem with Laos. And then we try to improve, apply the English into our course. For example, for the graduate level in 2007, we have got more students from ASEAN countries like Myanmar and Cambodia, but not much at the time. And then in 2012, we have got more from Vietnam, Indonesia, and Philippines. And that was the time when I was a student. So I've got some like classmates from Vietnam, from Myanmar, from Cambodia, Indonesia, and Philippines. But what I'm going to show you now, nowadays, we have yes, this guy, the Japanese guy. We have Myanmar. We have got the guy from India as well. So you can see that it's not only from ASEAN, but from Japan, from China, from Europe as well, like Poland, Sweden, Latvia, Australia, also from Middle East like Iran, and also from African, from Nigeria. This is basically because of we are improving our program. We are improving our curriculum to be in the international level, and so that we teach in English for the graduate levels. But unfortunately, for the undergraduate level, we are still teaching in Thai. So these students are the postgraduate students. And how can we recruit them? How can we invite them to join our department? So what we are doing now is to organize the international events as much as possible. This is our kind of our strategy. So we usually organize by monthly seminars from the professor from for example, from UK, from the US, from the Japan, or from China. And we also organize some kind of international conference and to get more students. So another strategy, apart from publishing, apart from the presenting our research, is to get more students from the international level. So this is also one of our strategy. As for the young faculty staff, I got the very good support from the department. For example, they send me abroad for once a year to go and to the conference with the support from the university and from the department. And also I would say that the good thing is that the supporting facility that we have is more like everything is in English, and so that we can is internet is friendly for foreigners as well. Also, another good thing is that this is what I'm going to show you is that the sorry, this is our to build the research and to get more student better student mobility is to yes, of course, provide it's a financial things. So our university provides some kind of a scholarship that student can study at Chula for 3 years for the PhD, and they can go abroad for 1 year. And then we have a collaboration with some other university as well. So we can this is how can we improve our student mobility. And also the scholarship from the this is Chulalongkorn graduate scholarship program for ASEAN and non-ASEAN countries. So it support both master and PhD students. And the good thing is for Thailand is, you know, the street food. So when I go abroad for the conference, when I usually get of course maybe one student every time. The good what my strategy is to promote Thailand like this. We have street food, we have beach, yeah. So like for example, from European, they love the beach, right? In Thailand, you love summer, right? And so this is what I'm doing. And then I learned when I was a student, and now I'm doing this. And also when I not only getting more students, we also trying to send our student to do pursue PhD or master degree as well, who graduate from our undergrad level. For example, this young lady she's going to UK next year for the PhD because of last year we myself and Professor Witit, we went to the UK and went to discuss about research, and now we are sending her to the UK, to Newcastle. So this is just one example that we are doing. And this is a video that, oh, I'm not sure this is, oh, it's not working, unfortunately, but you can have a look at YouTube. If you search in the YouTube that live at Chula, this video will show up. And this is what I'm usually show when I go abroad and after my research presentation to get more students. And and thank you very much. This is all for myself. And yeah, let's.
So thank you for the presentation and the very nice pictures. So now let me introduce Mr. Panavich Shantaraba.
Yes.
Bachelor student in 4 years, I think.
Yes, I am a fourth-year student.
Fourth-year student, okay, at the Faculty of Engineering, Chulalongkorn University. So please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Panavich Chandrapat. I'm the fourth-year student of Faculty of Engineering. I'm really glad to be here to share my opinions about this program. The average level of student be here that I think my opinion is based on my socials, my friends, and my background. The thing that I want to say is about the first is mobilities. Everything have a pros and cons, right? The first pros of mobilities, I think is have a good chance to study abroad because I can know how the other country drive their country by their knowledge of in engineering field. And it make my visions more wider. I can know how they do to their country that can make country be more efficient. But everything have cons. I think it's if I go abroad like a short times, I can't accept the cultures of any country if I go abroad short, and it can make me a depression or have a stress, and it can be hard to focus on study. And I'm not sure about the course in abroad if I not have scholarships, because every scholarship needs a high qualification that not everyone have qualified enough. And if I want to go abroad, I think I ask my parents to give money, and our salary in Thailand is not high enough to go abroad well. And in second is on degree recognitions. I think if our curriculum have recognitions, it can make me easy to get a license to work in another country more easy. Because if it's not recognition, I will really take a time to learn what another country needs, like a code to design the building or the work, how they work in. But I think if we can improve our curriculums, not everyone can adapt the new change. I think it's gonna take a long time to adapt our curriculum to be more internalized. At nowadays in my class, we use speak Thai and written in Thai. We're not familiar with English well. And we can learn basics are necessary in Thailand work, but not for global. If we can develop to learn more about work use, it's gonna be better for me. That is, I think, is be enough for my opinions. Thanks for your attention.
So thank you for the discussion. So basically, there is some question for the civil engineering aspect of internationalization. No, basically, from my side, I have more or less the same concern. What I see from the presentation of Chayut is that maybe locally, I don't know if it is at the scale of the university, or maybe at the scale of the faculty, or maybe at the scale of the department. I see that you have an incitative program to promote internationalization. Do you think that not at the scale of your department or maybe faculty or university, but maybe at the scale of the country, such incitation can be implemented also?
So for the our faculty and our Chula, let's say that I think we get a very good support and from our department and university itself. But for the national level, I think it's now we still have to our curriculum for the undergrad level. We still have to comply with the Council of Engineer in Thailand. So some courses we think is not honestly important, but somehow we have to make it. Sometimes we have to do it, and there's still some constraint from the national level that we have to follow. So that's a kind of sometimes it will increase the student workload sometimes, because we still have to comply with national and international level. That's a thing.
In fact, just to continue a little the discussion, let me share with you an experiment that we have actually in France. I know that for civil engineering or engineering in general, maybe it's more complicated because we have kind of accreditation, national accreditation. So this was also the point of my question. In France, for example, the national accreditation based on competencies. And on the competencies, we have ability to speak another language, ability to work in team, and multiculturalism, these kind of things. And so now, by the law, at the national level, this is an obligation. So all students in engineering school have to follow 3 months outside France. So this has been decided at the national level. Do you think that in Thailand, such decision can be taken or it's too complicated?
It's possible, but as I mentioned that it will increase the period of study, maybe from 4 years, it's going to be maybe 4.5. And some student, maybe they think that it's, if they get the support, they get the financial support from the university, is really very good. So we have some kind of channel, maybe, but not that much. But nowadays, for the Council of Engineers, we have, as I mentioned, that our course have to be comply with the Council of Engineer, and now this in the international level for this regulation, they try to use this regulation to be comply with the some kind of international level. So if your course in Thailand have been accredited by this national, it will be automatically accredited by the international level. So it's been kind of an improvement. So it's just the regulation is just been changed just this year, I think. So it's will be more relaxed, and will be student will, I think, it's going into the better way, and it's positive.
Okay. Any other question? I think no. So maybe we can conclude, I think. So thank you very much for the discussion.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So yes, on behalf of all of us, I'd like to thank all the presenters who shared their knowledge with us. Thank you once again. And okay, so we would also like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Emilio Azuma for chairing this session and providing his valuable comments. Thank you. Okay. So now let us move on to the last part of today's program. So I kindly invite Dr. Pablo Bannington for the closing remarks. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I will try to be very short because it was a long day. I think there are still some people connected still. I think it was very productive because we went through the overview in the morning of CALOHEA project and the perspective in particular from my colleagues from different countries in teacher education about what we have done in relation to this framework. But I think this session in the afternoon, where we invite other voices from different stakeholders, the authorities from the different councils in the first part of the afternoon, and now representative from different sectors from teacher education and now from civil engineering, gave us another flavor of what we have done. I think that our work in trying to move forward in relation to internationalization is very clear. It's a need. It's a global need to try to make our programs more comparable, more recognized. It's something that is a requirement now and probably in the future. But I think that there is some tension in terms of this requirement of internationalization and a lot of constraints that this panel and the previous one pose in terms of mobility in particular. Physical mobility, it's very difficult, and it will be more difficult in the future. And this probably is clear for the crisis, for the war, for environment. There is a lot of constraints in terms of the physical mobility. But of course, the opportunity of the virtual mobility, it's in front of us. And this is challenging also for the recognition, because probably this internationalization or probably regionalization of our programs, that it's probably more realistic in terms of the future, to try to think not in the global scope, but probably in our particular region scope, as trying to go beyond the border. It's something that we must include in the curriculum design. So this is very challenging to try how we include this global, international, or regional perspective in our teaching, in our assessment, in the final product of the learning process. Because with or without this physical mobility, the degrees must be internationalized and recognized beyond this border, beyond the frontier. So this work that we are developing in CALOHEA, it's a contribution to try to include this international dimension, regional dimension, in particular for Southern East Asia, in the curriculum design. And I think it will be an opportunity for the future, for the students now and for the future professional, to really have this competence, the whole competence that represent this degree program, comparable, but also some probably particular international competence, as it was explained, in their curriculum. So I think that tomorrow we, in the local context, we will try to discuss how this merge with the national context, these agreements about the qualification framework for civil engineering, for teacher education, and all the outcomes about the workload and about the assessment of learning outcomes can be included in the national context, and how the national context also can contribute and enrich and enhance the CALOHEA discussion. So thank you very much. Thank you to this panel, the other panels, and we will meet tomorrow early at 9 o'clock to continue with this discussion. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now we have come to the end of today's program, and we hope all of you had a great time today. And then we would appreciate if you could online survey by scanning QR code on the screen. Yes, so this can help improve mobility between ASEAN region and European region. So yes, let's close today's program. Thank you once again.